The police have finally instructed them to leave. They look like they're starting to leave. So
we'll have to leave too.
we'll go back to where we are. I only came over here to make sure.
Yeah. Well, we didn't know what was happening, so we thought we'd better come over and show the flag.
Yes.
Supporters of Israel Truthway, these people have been told to leave, and I have, in keeping with my word, I told them we were not going to be on private property. So let's return to our place, please.
Well, I just want to make sure the police were.
Well, that's true. We'll do it.
We're heading out.
We're leaving. So,
but we do need to gather the evidence on whether or not these lawbreakers are going to obey the law. Hey, it doesn't look like any of those ones are actually moving.
okay.
They seem to be quite clearly willing to stay.
You guys stay and monitor and record,
Yeah, we are.
and we're going back to do what we said we were going to do.
All present Palestine, let's all go to our own demonstration outside.
Exactly. That's what we got to do.
Yeah, stop breaking the law.
Okay. Everybody on the Israel Truth Week
We're heading over there already.
please leave
We were already over
before
there.
the tree. Just stay here, monitor that they're actually leaving.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
It looks like they're all leaving. Okay. Thanks very much, folks.
And what was your name, sir?
Gary McHale.
What's interesting to stay alive just for that reason.
So are they sold out?
One left.
Hey, sold out. Hey, thank you.
They had four machines, or 6 machines. 2 were expensive, and 4 cheaper ones. So they now have 2. So who wants pictures with Sodastream? Where's David? Where's David? In the pit. Everybody in the pit. Come on, everybody. We're going to pack it up in a minute, but I just wanted to talk to you. Can you try and come and get in real close so I don't have to shout too loud? Come on in. Everybody come in
I don't know,
close.
Mark passed them to me.
Please come in close. Come on in as close as you can. Come on. Please.
Christine, move your thing up there because your thing is in Mark's face.
There it is. There you go. Okay, listen, first of all, thank you to everybody who came out here today. Wow. What a show of support for Israel and a show against the intimidation of Canadian Tire and this Israeli-made product. When it was 2 members of the Never Again group here in Hamilton, when they sent this to me, I watched the video that I'm not sure if it was Bill or Steve sent to me, and I watched the video of about the Sodastream factory in Israel. I thought, you know, there have been enough lies about Israel told. Why are they now demonizing a company that employs probably over 500 Palestinian workers or Arab workers? Why are they trying to demonize a company that gives such great economic support to the people they claim to care about? And of course, and why are they telling these lies about Israel, about the founding, that they are on occupied land? And I thought it was very, very important. I think it's very important that we reach out to, especially within the Jewish community and the community at large, in this wave of anti-Semitism that is being hyped up by this so-called anti-Israel boycott. It's interesting that they only want to demonize so viciously the Jewish company, the Jewish state, and as I told the reporter here who asked me, well, why are you doing this counter-protest? And I said, well, first of all, it's a vigil, and we didn't call it, they did. And what we're doing here is we're taking advantage of their event to help get out the truth, that Israel came into existence on a bedrock of international law and founded on the San Remo Conference and Resolution of 1920, which was ratified by the League of Nations in 1922. The whole world created Palestine as a Jewish state and then divided it up to appease the Arabs. So there was a 2-state solution. There was a lawful 2-state solution. It was called Palestine, Jewish Palestine, and Jordan, Transjordan. So the 2-state solution already exists. So it was very important for us to come here and make sure that our voice is the truth. And somebody said to me, well, they have a different opinion, and I said, you know what, we can debate whether the security wall in Israel is a barrier or a fence or whatever. We can debate how an Israeli soldier was mean to a Palestinian at a barricade. But I'm telling you now, you cannot debate the fact that Israel was created lawfully under international law with San Remo and the League of Nations. And anybody who wants to talk about it, they always want to talk about international law. Great, let's talk about international law. Let's look at that. But they don't want to talk about that. They want to pretend that a bunch of Jews woke up one day in 1948 and took a whole bunch of land that didn't belong to them. It's false. We're going to stand up against it. And this gathering is remarkable. We have people from Hamilton. We have Never Again Group, Canada-Israel Friendship Committee. We have Canadians for Israel's Legal Rights. We have Canadian Patriotic Society. We have Progressive Muslims Institute of Canada. We have, did I mention Never Again Group? Can't mention them enough. They're great. We have Canadian Advocates for Charter Equality. We have Pastor Dave from Hamilton. And we have Big Al Gretzky here, from a candidate for the Freedom Party. Okay, in the recent by-election, a real tiger. From London, Toronto, all over, people have come today to unite. We have other people who've already left. We bought 2 Sodastream machines, and when I went in there this morning, there were 6 machines on the shelf, and now there's only 1. So congratulations. So, thank you, Soda Machine. Here is this company, an Israeli company. If you don't have it already, please don't leave until you get one of these fact sheets, okay? Maybe pass them around. Start passing them around if you would. Don't leave until you get those fact sheets. So you understand that this company not only provides livelihood to Palestinians, but it's also building bridges between, they like to give lip service to building bridges. All the time they're creating hate. Those people that are employed at that plant have enough hate in their lives, they don't need any more, and this company, Sodastream, is helping to build bridges and create great relationships. So that's all I have to say about that, but I want to talk to you about what we accomplished today, and that's important. Somebody said to me, well, what are we accomplishing here today? Well, let me tell you, this protest was already a success before I even left. Number 1, because all of you committed to coming, and the unity is going to be very frightening to our enemies. So what did we accomplish? Before I left, I got an email from David Freeman and CC'd in Salomon, and I won't reveal who he's writing to, but they're talking to Jewish community leaders about what was happening today. They were talking to these people about Israel Truth Week. They were talking about educating this particular organization about the facts of San Remo, about how to turn the tide of propaganda. So I couldn't believe it. I said, we've already won. Because remember something, our target market is not those whack jobs out there. The people, the anti-Semites, the haters. We're never convincing them. Our target market first, we have to help the Jewish community understand that that they need to stand up with their land title deed from San Remo and the League of Nations and say, here's where the 2-state solution came from. That's the one we're sticking to. Because I'm going to tell you something. If Israel, and it's up to Israelis to make their own decision what they're going to do. But if they're going to do that, if they're going to give away a large part of their birthright, they better do so knowing that they are owners, not occupiers. Secondly, if they give that land away without the world acknowledging that they had the lawful right to keep it, what legal basis will they use when the Arabs say, now we want the rest? Obviously, you had no rights in this land. And you know that's what's going to happen. So that's the other point. Now, what did we accomplish? So that first thing we won already. I have between tomorrow between tonight and tomorrow, I have interviews planned with the Canadian Jewish Tribune, Shalom Toronto, who wrote a wonderful articles about Israel Truth Week, and Jewish Tribune, Canadian Jewish News, and Shalom Toronto. So 3 of the largest Jewish newspapers in Canada are doing stories about what we did today. Huge victory. huge victory. The Hamilton Spectator interviewed me, Salomon, Shobi, Pastor Dave. They interviewed people from our side. And so now hopefully we're going to have an article in Hamilton that would never have happened had we not decided to go out and stir up a little bit of controversy. We kept our word today. And I went in there and I said to the Canadian Tire folks, we're going to stay on public property. We're not going to cause you any trouble. We're going to buy your products. We think what's happening to you is wrong, and we did what we said we were going to do. We thought, it appeared that they were consenting to the other side holding this protest out in front of their store. Now Gary McHale here, Gary went over and made. What did you say to them, Gary? Tell them what you told the police and the security. Come on.
Well, I told the security that if they're not going to tell them to move away from the front door, then they're obviously consenting to protesters, and we should go over and do our protest there. And the guy said, well, we're not consenting. I said, well, tell them to leave. As soon as you tell them to leave, I'll start arresting them for you. That's the only reason why they were actually asked to leave, because they were more concerned that we were going to get over there than telling them to leave.
There you go. So thanks to Gary. And let me tell you, Gary McHale has a book coming out in November that you're going to love, and he's going to be talking about things like citizens' arrests and private prosecutions, and the cover is stunning. It's called Victory in the No-Go Zone. So then what happened is, so what we did is, by knowing the law and by uniting, we managed to chase them out of the front of Canadian Tire. And somebody just said to me, they look pretty forlorn standing in the rain out in the front. There you go, Alana was saying that. So, did we accomplish anything? Are you kidding me? Congratulations, thank you. Does anybody have anything that they would like to say? What's that? There you go. Does anybody else want to say something?
Just one.
Come up in front of the camera, please, because Jeff's recording, okay? And whoever wants to say something, please do.
I just wanted...
Can I hold your soda machine?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to congratulate you for really being a leader and helping us coalesce so many groups and so many interests. And what you talked about, what is successful, is the networking that happens out of this. Just one last thing in regard to educating Jews. If any of you, in regard to your synagogues, approach your synagogue, Solomon Ben Zimra has a terrific program. I'm trying to promote it in my Temple Sinai, and we need to engage our congregations to educate them, because I mean, they're as ignorant as
That's great. And Solomon's presentation was on at Israel Truth Week, and that's awesome. I'd love to speak. And David is the former chair of the Toronto chapter of the Canadian Institute for Jewish Research. So thank you for coming here. And CIJR, by the way, was CIJR was awesome to us, and they sent 2 speakers to Israel Truth Week. So I don't get to keep that? I want to. I want to know that.
No, I'm going to give it to my synagogue, and we're going to have a photo op, so it goes into our bulletin.
David, thank you so much. Let me shake your paw. Thank you so much for the kind words. Anybody else want to say something? Have an announcement? There's Varda. Come on, Varda. Vardit.
I just want to
Tell the camera who you are.
Oh,
You're on camera. It's okay. Just talk to me.
I just wanted to thank you for making me realize I've been an activist for a long time, but I'm not an activist all over. And so I wasn't really familiar of what you do and the passion that you have. And I saw the passion today, and I really, really want to thank you. If my late father was alive, he'd thank you. My dad was taken prisoner twice by the Nazis, twice he escaped. My father was a fighter. My father had written a book at the age of 89, and he would have loved to meet you. He loves people that stand up for everybody's rights, and I got a little bit from my dad, but he would have, had he been alive, he would have been here today, and he would have loved to meet people like you.
And you know who else he would have liked? He would have loved to meet the guy I learned everything from, that man over there, Gary McHale. And I'll tell you, if it wasn't for him, there really would be no Israel Truth Week. We learned everything we know about protest.
Well, because it's Mark's event, I don't want to.
No, I want people to speak. You came this way. Anybody who wants to speak can speak.
My dad was an activist way before me, and he was fighting for me. And he taught me basically never to take bad from anybody. He taught me, sometimes when I speak at a church, he said, it's better that you don't speak at a church, but when you speak with logic, and you speak out. And my dad was a huge activist. My dad, like I said, my dad was the Nazis. I'm not quite. He was the prisoner. He was in the Polish army, and then my parents married him, and they went to Russia. They gave himself up to the NK Nazis, and then they took him to the Russian army.
Wow.
And later they went back home, and they were citizens in a refugee camp. They were not citizens, and displaced person. And then I was born in 1975. And Canada used late applications to go to Australia and Canada because. But Canada said, my father, you can go by yourself and then bring your family. And my father said, these hands are this woman. And I will not leave my wife again with the separated from the war. Anyway, my father never told me 1 penny a day for work. Whole life that he was here, he worked until he employed other people, and he was so grateful. My parents were the Holocaust survivors. They were so grateful to Canada. And then I see people like that come to Canada and absolutely ruin it.
It's hard, isn't it?
Disappreciated. I've seen them, they sometimes they stand with the Canadian flag, other times they disrespect our government in power and call them all kinds of names. These are the people that we don't want. We wanted the immigrants.
Good stuff. Well, thank you so much for coming. We got Gary here. Gary, do you want to say something, please? No, I want the leaders to have a voice here. Shobi, if you want to say something, please. Whatever you want.
Well, it's obvious that more and more we're going to have these debates going on in Canadian society. The debates are coming over here. But so far, it seems like only one side was getting a voice. The Palestinians want to act as if they're the victims. And nobody really wants to talk about how they're the ones that are causing most of the violence. In this particular case, as Mark has already said, we have a company that employs not only 500 Palestinians, but according to the Palestinians themselves, these people make 5 or 6 times more than they would make anywhere else. So I guess what they're against is high-paying jobs because they want the Palestinians to stay poor so they can be the victims of Israel. Instead of allowing various companies to lift them up and give them opportunities, they want these people to be poor so they can say to the media around the world, look at these poor Palestinians. That's what's really going on. Anytime there's real opportunities for partnership and moving forward, you have one group that tries to divide, tries to destroy these opportunities. And that's what's going on today.
Gary, you forgot to mention that Israel just gave Palestinians 5,000 permits.
Alana, come on up and...
No, I'm not much
no? Where's Tahir? Tahir can come Tahir, please. This is Tahir Gora from the Progressive Muslims Institute of Canada, and thank you so much for coming. And with your wife Halima.
Yeah, Halima, come and join me.
Halima, where are you?
On behalf of Progressive Muslims Institute Canada, we are very grateful what you're doing, because this is not just in the interest of Israeli people. This is also in the interest of Muslims. Because we need to eliminate hatred within our community. We need to fight anti-Semitism within Muslim community. And the stuff those people are doing, we do not agree with that kind of thing. Because we are not here to boycott democratic, legal state of Israel. That is the only state, fortunately, in the Middle East that gives equal rights to Palestinians to live in Israel. So we believe firmly in that we should, as progressive Muslims, stand with you guys and should fight this kind of hatred, but we should. So thank you for inviting us, and we will always stand shoulder to shoulder.
And you
I
know,
would
Ted,
like
here's-
to add one more
yes.
thing in that.
Thank you.
We are here to bridge. Our main focus is to bridge between the communities. The world where we are living right now need to interact and know about each other so that those who are working against our peace mission can see that how wrong they are. So we, people like us, will always stand.
And you're from Pakistan, and you've seen it up close. So you know what you're talking about. You're great fighters for democracy, and you have friends who have died for their beliefs in Pakistan. So thank you both for coming. Really
No, thank you for having us, and we'll work together.
Shobi, come on up and say a couple words.
Who's an umbrella? I don't know whose umbrella it is. Mark, you get an umbrella? I don't know.
I got, yeah. Here, we'll do a little one.
Okay.
Here, Shobi, I'll hold this for you.
So I'm from the Canadian Patriotic Society. My name is Shobi Kapoor. And somebody asked me, why am I here? Hindu from Toronto. This has nothing to do with identity politics. What happened today with this abominable, protest against Sodastream is against Canadian values. My niece went to York University. She was really upset with the Israeli apartheid week there, and she's a Hindu, and she was, telling me what's wrong with Israel. And I had to deprogram her. Our youth are being brainwashed, and I feel that, I want to stand up for my Jewish brothers and sisters, and the hard left is involved, the socialists are involved, and, we have to come together as a community. And by the way, Jews and Hindus have lived peacefully in India for thousands of years, and we want to continue this friendship and make alliances with our Jewish brothers and sisters. Namaste. Thank you very much.
Oh, Shobi, thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Very much. Never again. And Solomon, would you say a few words, please? This is Solomon Ben Zimra, Canadians for Israel's Legal Rights, and the author of a book and the Jewish people's rights to the land of Israel.
That's right.
And also an Israel Truth Week speaker as well.
That's right. That's right. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you.
What I would like to point out is that in all these demonstrations that we are witnessing, whether it is Israel apartheid week, against Sodastream, or you name it, there is one common trend, is that all these people, they are doing nothing to enhance the status of the Palestinians. Their
Good
only
point.
objective is to destroy Israel, and or to denigrate it, delegitimize it, demonize it, but never any action in order to lift the Palestinian status. And that is telling, because it shows exactly what is the underlying reason in all these operations, and this is what we have to emphasize over and over again. Thank you.
Perfect. So thank you, Solomon. Thank you for being here. And our representative from the Never Again group, Steve. Come on, Steve. Steve Sheffer from the Never Again group, and he's the one who sent me the video.
Well, actually, Solomon is exactly right. This entire fight has never been about building Palestine. It has always been about destroying Israel. There is no question. These people will destroy a company that employs, actually, I've read 900 Palestinians, 500 in the West Bank, 400 in East Jerusalem. Lucrative jobs, they're happy, they're employed, they're doing very well. These people that were here today would rather destroy that company to make a point than to enhance the lives or to protect the jobs of these 900 Palestinians that are working there. The same that they do with Israel. They would rather destroy Israel than build a Palestine. It's the common thread right through everything they ever do. Anything they ever say, common thread. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? That's it? Well, thank you again. We're going to go down to Kelsey's and get something to eat. If anybody, I think it's down there on the left. And thank you again for all coming. As Gary McHale taught me, I'm not sure if something you said, but it's certainly a lesson that I've taken from Caledonia. You don't accomplish anything until you get somebody mad at you. You really don't. You've got to come out and you've got to create controversy. And that's what we've done today. We've got, as I said, hopefully 4 stories out in the media, and that's because we were able to take a stand. Thank you for coming for so far away, and I hope you'll join us for lunch, and thank you guys. Thank you. That's it. Thank you to Jeff Parkinson for recording, and Christine McHale for taking pictures.